Hi, this is Helen Thomas on the CDFM study group. I want to continue review of CDFM Module 4, Competency 7, Technology Protection. This is out of the 2011 study guide. So let's see what we have here. So on page 472, it talks about what technology protection is concerned about. What's the main purpose of it? And I'll read, technology protection is concerned with those responsibilities regarding prevention of inadvertent technology transfer of dual use and leading edge military technologies that support future defense. Okay, so we need to read through to make sense of this. Let's go down to the bottom of page 472, since I got my notes here. Technology protection procedures and guidance are designed to protect designated science and technology information and critical program information against compromise. We don't want any outside entity being able to penetrate our technology. So two things, technology protection protects against compromise of our DS and TI, designated science and technology information, and critical program information, CPI. Also, it explains the DSTI is research and development classified information and research and technology controlled unclassified information. CPI, which is the critical program information, is an acquisition program. In an acquisition program may be classified information or unclassified information about technology. So those are the two categories. So the bottom line is whether it's classified or unclassified information, it is ensuring that those information on technology is protected and not being able to be compromised by some other entity. On page 473, under protection overview, the CPI, if compromised, let's see the other one. The DS and TI should be safeguarded to sustain or advance the DoD technological lead in the warfighter's battle. The CPI, if compromised, will significantly alter program direction. So let me highlight that. That sounds like something important. Result in unauthorized or inadvertent disclosure of the program. So whatever, we don't ensure that whatever technology we have on our systems are not being compromised by some other outside entity, our enemies being able to get information on our technology. All right, so I don't see anything else there, or at least I didn't have anything else highlighted there. So I kind of read through these before I get online. All right, the next one is about threat intelligence support. None of this is more information. Acquisition programs should be supported. So I don't really see anything. The capability development. So this is talking about doing the milestones. So at the bottom, let me go on the bottom of page 475. So the technology protection means doing the acquisition process from the beginning. We are already determining what protective measures need to be put in place. So from the JSIDS process, which is the first paragraph on the bottom there of page 475, the JSIDS, Joint Capabilities Integration and Development System. So remember, once we know what the DoD strategy is, then the JSIDS process will then determine what type of capabilities we have and what our capability gaps are. And that information is then published in an initial capabilities document. So that's the ICD listed on the bottom of that page. So when you initiate the program, so if validated, capstone threat assessment or systems threat assessment reports are available and addressed. So you're wargaming your threat doing that process, the ICD, to determine what type of capability will it require to fix and to defeat that threat. Page 476 goes into the capability development document. Once they determine what the capability is, then it's published in a capabilities development. Now, do we need to develop it because we don't have it in our arsenal already? And then the capability production. So there's a document, there's a report that's published before anything is done in the acquisition process. So that's what I got out of page 5, 6, and then you have the summary on page 7. So I noticed the further you get in the module 4, the topics are less information, which is good. Although even though it's shorter, I have a lot of highlights in mine, so I need to dwindle it down. So I'm moving on to page 4, 7, 10. Under the RDT Unique, let me see what that first bullet says. The RDT Unique commanding officer, site director, or designee, whoever is designee, you know what I mean, identifies and prioritizes their designated science and technology information and communicates the results to the CI, security, foreign intelligence, operations support, and security intelligence organization. So your RDT&E commanding officer, site director, or whoever is designated as that individual is responsible for identifying the priorities in that program. The site director in consultation with supporting, okay. All right, the bottom of page 10, second to last paragraph. All IT network and system storing, processing, or transmitting of the DS&TI should be accredited in accordance with DODI 5200.40, which is the DoD Information Technology Security Certification and accreditation process. So all IT network and systems storing of the system, processing, or transmitting of the DSTI should be accredited in accordance with DODI 5200.40. And again, so since I don't remember what the acronym stands for, I like to always go back until it gets in my head. So designated science and technology information. Designated science and technology information. Okay. All right, on the bottom of page 4711, critical program information, the CPI is the foundation upon which all protection planning for the program is based. So all protection planning is based on the critical program information, CPI. Page 4712, which goes into the duties and responsibilities of the program manager at the top, determines the existence. So your CPI comes from your program manager. So when in doubt, pick program manager, because anything to do with specific programs, your program manager is typically the individual that's in charge of all of this. Let me see, can I read without my glasses? No. All right, let's see. Programs with foreign participation. Let's see what's going on. What and who? When a determination is made that any of the following condition exists, a technology assessment control plan, C Defense Acquisition Guidebook, Section 848, and a delegation of disclosure authority letter should be prepared as annexes to the PPP. What's PPP stand for? Let's go back, follow it back. Program Protection Plan, which is in the second bullet at the top. So always know what your acronyms stand for when you move forward. Program Protection Planning, and we're going to talk about it in a little bit. So there are 5 events. Foreign participation in system development is possible. An allied system will be used. The system to develop is a candidate for, so anytime there's a relationship with a foreign entity in building a system, then this plan comes into play. So programs that have foreign participation, when a determination is made that those things and those events at the bottom occur, a technology assessment control plan should be prepared as an annex. That's the short version. So the TACP should be prepared as an annex to the program protection plan when a foreign entity is introduced in the process or going to be used. Under any of condition, the designated disclosure authority should be involved and informed, okay, same thing, which includes summarization. Those are pretty straightforward. So remember, when you're studying, you read everything. I'm just kind of picking out some stuff that looked important to me. So the top of page 4713, risk management in program protection. In program protection, when viewed within the global context of security, risk management is concerned with technology transfer and is a systematic methodology to identify, evaluate, rank, and control inadvertent loss of technology. All right, so I'm writing it down. Risk management in program protection. So if you're concerned with transfer of your technology, you want to identify, evaluate, rank, and control the loss of that technology. In this respect, it is based on a three-dimensional model: the probability of a loss, severity of a loss, and the countermeasures. So that's like a risk assessment. So you want to think, if my technology gets in the wrong hands, what are the fixes? You want to know that ahead of time. So the risk management is that step where you figure that out. So probability, the severity, and the countermeasures to mitigate the loss. As such, risk management is a key element of a program manager's executive decision. All right, so I think that sounds important, so I highlighted that. All right, program protection plan. So that's my PPP again. So if I have a foreign government, I want to have an annex, if any of those conditions, to the PPP for any of those conditions. Then it goes more into the program protection plan, the PPP, on page 4713. As mentioned above, when the acquisition program contains CPI, the program manager must prepare a program protection plan. Moreover, the PM should initiate program protection planning process that includes the following steps. So you see all the steps listed there. You want to make sure you have countermeasures, how you're going to protect the technology, priorities, all those things are what's listed in those bullets. Let me see what this one says. Identify time or event phase research and technology protection. Countermeasures to be employed. Okay, yeah, if your technology is vulnerable, you want to have your countermeasures in the event that your technology is stolen. Page 4714. After completing the protection planning process, the program manager, assisted by applicable CI, okay, more about the PPP. The PPP is the program manager. Oh, that sounds important. Responsibility is the program manager and the site director. So the program manager, single source document used to coordinate and integrate all protection efforts designed to deny access to CPI to anyone not authorized or having a need to know. That's your program protection plan. So if you ask what's the program protection plan, that is the program manager's document used to coordinate and integrate protection plan against unauthorized use. The program manager establishes and approves the PPP for an acquisition program as soon as practicable after validation of the initial capabilities. So this is done early on in the process. And remember, the ICD comes right up front when the JSIDs identify the capability issue, the strategy, capability. They do their analysis, and the initial capabilities document is where they annotate what is needed. And then you have to already come up with your program protection plan. Makes sense. All right, what else? Page 4715 goes into counterintelligence analysis of critical program information, the CPI. When an acquisition program containing CPI, critical information, is initiated, the program manager should request a CI analysis of CPI from the servicing organization. So depending on what needs to be done, when the program manager understands that it's critical program, critical information in the process, and they request an analysis of that critical information from the servicing organization. Info, okay, page 17. Technology assessment. So TA is technology assessment, and CP is control plan. Because on the exam, they're not going to explain if they use acronyms, so you have to know what it means. So the technology assessment and control plan is composed of 4 sections. So what are the 4 sections? Program concept, nature and scope of the effort and objectives, technology assessment, and control plan. 1, 2, 3, 4. Delegation, program manager. All right, summary. Let's see. So we've covered the DSTI, the CPI, critical information program, RDT Unique, commanding officer, site director, acquisition protection strategy. Key steps: the program manager determines the existence of the CPI. I'm on page 4719, just over the summary. So most of these, yeah, program manager, when in doubt, pick up. While there's no specific format for PPPs, program protection plans, they normally include system description and a whole list that list is there. The bottom line at the last part of page 19, program manager has the primary responsibility for PPP execution. And highlight that for me. So when I go over the information again, I'm just going to focus on the things that I highlighted. Foreign governments, we talked about that. If the foreign government is to be included in the technology, then you have to add an appendix to the PPP document that addresses what role that foreign government is going to have in development of that system. All right, so that takes care of competency section number 7 in CDFM module 4. I thank you guys for stopping by. Be sure to subscribe so that you get the updates. I'm going to do a little bit better to try to finalize all the module 4 as we go into the holiday season. And then I will kind of look to see if there are any updates. Again, my goal is to complete the testing myself by the end of this year. And then I'll be able to have more insight in what areas to focus on so that I can let you guys know. So thank you for stopping by, and I'll see you guys again next time. This is Helen Thomas and the CDFM Study Group.